Game is better than Jadakiss, I guess, when they were doing their equivalency thing or trying to help people understand. So then that conversation tried to take off for a minute. I wrote it down just in case anybody here wanted to try to make a compelling argument that the Game is better than Jadakiss.
Kiss would be higher on my list probably, but I don't think it's a bad argument. If somebody said the opposite, I wouldn't argue with him. I wouldn't fight. That wouldn't be the hill I would die on. I think Game is an underrated rapper.
Very much so.
Game is really good at rapping.
No, but he's highly underrated. Again, based on we look at Game more of a personality or a public figure.
Where Game edges Jadakiss is Game can make an album.
His songs.
No, an album.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's not bad.
Jadakiss, as much as I love Kiss is a great 16-bar rapper. He will give you amazing verses. But when it comes down to making an actual album top to bottom, he don't have it.
Now, 50 would step in and say, neither does Game.
That's not true. You could take Documentary off the table. He still has
he does.
Other great, not good.
Ice is right.
His third album was great. You're right.
Ice is right.
His third album was really great.
Jesus Piece, amazing
I love Jesus
album.
Piece.
Really good.
That's fair.
LAX, amazing album. Doctor's Advocate, amazing album.
Ice, I agree with you. Game makes a better album than Jadakiss. I won't argue with it.
Okay.
I want to, but I won't. Not anywhere near on the same level. Jadakiss is a top 25 MC no matter who you talk to. Game is a top 50 MC. But most people would have Jadakiss top 25 all time. I did real songs with Big. No made up shit. That holds some weight.
Yeah.
That holds weight. When you take 50 Cent out the picture, and I'm saying this with respect, Game, please leave me alone. Please, I don't want no trouble. But when you take 50 out the picture, give me the classic Game moments.
Joe Buttons, you almost had me, bro. You almost had me. I'm going to tell you why you almost had me. Because you right and you wrong. Here's where you're right. You're right on the fact that Jadakiss has not yet produced a classic. And Game has. Like you said, take the documentary out. I ain't going to lie. I do love the Red Album. I do love Jesus Piece. I do love the Doctor's Advocate. I do love them joints. I ain't gonna lie. Now, here's where it gets a little fuzzy. You know what? I'm not even gonna go down them lines because I was gonna ask you if you would call any one of them classics or are they very, very good albums. But anyhow, nevertheless, you're right. Jadakiss has not yet produced a classic. Now, here's where you're wrong. Now, you're wrong in that Game is better than Jadakiss. You'd have lost your goofy ass, dumb ass mind when you say some goofy shit like that. This is Jadakiss. You're not going to disrespect Jadakiss. Now, is Game a flower? Yeah, he could flow. I ain't going to lie. Game could flow on beats, and I like Game. I ain't going to front. But Jadakiss, nigga? Listen to me. Here's my reason why. Game had a machine behind him. He had Eminem. He had 50 Cent, he had Dr. Dre, the whole 9 yards. Jadakiss did not. That's why you would never ever really see Jada, especially back then where they didn't had like the internet really and stuff like that, when the locks was popping and shit like that. They were all underground music. Like you really would had to be a Locks fan and a Jada fan to really zoom in on shit like that. Game came out in the era where he had everything going for him. He had the machines behind him. Jadakiss didn't have that, bro. Jadakiss is well, not really an underground rapper. It was just that his music was so street. You had to like literally get off your ass, go outside and buy that shit. You get what I'm saying? And I ain't making no excuses why he couldn't make, because number one, it's like Jada is dependent on his fans to come out and say, I'm gonna buy this album. You gotta understand shit like that. He didn't have to work too hard to do what he had to do. All he had to do was basically put an album out, and 50 and all them will promote that shit. Jada really didn't have nobody to promote his shit for him, but you know what I mean, who was around him and him. And he was dependent on his street fans to do what they were supposed to do, which was buy his albums, which probably they didn't. They love Jada and they understand what Jada was, but Jada basically had the machine behind him that Game had. But to stand here and say that the Game is a better rapper than Jadakiss, you done lost your goofy ass mind.